that he's Kevin Mitnick. He's a Middle Eastern immigrant. Doesn't even own a computer.
Steals money.
More
How?
than 2,000 kilometers away.
So he gets into Nokia's
throws
what?
his paper to the ground.
Intern's laptop and he's stealing money?
Blazoned on the front page of the New York Times. Kevin is adamant the stories in the articles are lies. He never hacked into NORAD or wiretapped the NSA. But if you believe Kevin, then you shouldn't trust anything you've heard so far about Kevin. He takes on mythical status overnight. The little-known prankster is now public enemy number 1 of cyberspace. Kevin walks the streets of Seattle in a daze. Many of the passing faces on the sidewalk seem to be staring straight back at him. He hears the faint sound of a helicopter in the sky, feels his heart beginning to thump. No one seems to notice the helicopter, but they do notice Kevin. He hurries into the courtyard of an apartment complex and uses the tall trees as cover, peering through the leaves. Kevin tosses.
So do I believe this now?
And bursts into a full-on
I was just
sprint.
told not to believe
He
Kevin.
gets away.
It's so much style, like it's so high effort, but it cannot
America's
deliver an
top cybersecurity
actual
experts
cohesive
is
narrative.
finalizing plans to leave for
This
a
is
ski vacation
2 in a row,
this guy.
3 I think.
And suddenly,
Like I love the style of these videos, but my fucking god, it can't tell a story.
Your security technique will be defeated. Your technique is no good.
to someone like him, the attack and subsequent taunts are an act of war. A man steps out onto his balcony in Raleigh, North Carolina.
These aren't just stock images and shit, they have their own little custom animations they play. It's very high effort shit,
The FBI agents take their
but
position.
none of it actually helps with the story. It's just
target sitting inside.
random sentences that don't even fucking
Markov
connect to
marches
each
through the
other.
street. The agents burst in and draw their weapons, but find nothing. The man furiously denies that he's Kevin Mitnick. He's so convincing, the FBI agents are about to leave. But then, an agent notices an old ski jacket in the cupboard. He empties the pockets, and out falls a pay stub. Legacy Media pitches up their circus tents outside.
Most wanted computer hacker is behind bars.
Kevin shares one large holding cell with 60 other inmates. He doesn't eat for 2 days because the food isn't kosher. Inside,
And then
all
Coob
eyes are
Face.
fixed on the defendant.
Cool picture.
Kevin is charged with 14 counts of wire
Wow.
fraud, 8 counts of possession of unauthorized access devices, interception of wire or electronic communications, and causing damage to a computer. When Kevin is led away from the court, Tsutomu calls out from the front row. Kevin looks back at his nemesis, the one man who finally saw through the lies and deceptions to find him. He
Who?
nods, says nothing, and walks away. His appeals for bail are churned down by every single court in the U.S., including the Supreme. He has one last idea. But then, a group of officers storm into the cell and throw him into solitary confinement.
You skipped half. I didn't skip shit, I skipped an ad. I skipped his ad break and merch plug. I didn't skip shit.
And then this comes up.
What are you talking about? I didn't miss anything. What a weird excuse. It's just a really fucking poorly constructed narrative. I don't get what's so confusing, I understand. Who's his nemesis? They just mentioned his nemesis like he was a huge part of the story, and that was the literal first time we heard of him. I'm assuming it's the guy who was spearheading the operation to find him. But that's just an assumption. So who is his nemesis then? Pop quiz. And why is he all of a sudden a central character to make a little animation about him? His name is Joe Clearly. His name is Satoyu. I think. I don't know. That's what I fucking thought.
The hack on Yahoo.
So you're not
was a
following
hoax
it like you
carried out
claimed.
by members of the Free Kevin movement. There was no logic bomb. After 4 years of prison and solitary confinement, Kevin pleads guilty to 4 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of computer fraud, and 1 count of illegally intercepting a wire communication.
I didn't think of the consequences when I was engaging in this behavior. I just did it. I'd copy the code, store it on a computer, and go right on to the next without even reading the code.
Interesting.
You know, and that's a complete different motivation of somebody who's really out for financial gain, or a foreign country or a competitor trying to obtain, information like economic espionage, for instance.
You know, I hate to suggest a waste of your talent, but as I listen to you, I think you'd make a great lawyer.
Well, I don't know if you're convicted of a felony if they'd allow you
That's
to be admitted to the bar.
harder to do.
Kevin Mitnick
Hey, is there
is
some
released
Metal Gear?
from prison after nearly 5 years. When Kevin was on his crime spree, his hacking exploits seemed like mythology to the outside world. But by the time the sun hits his face, the world needs his skills. So, soon after his release, he testifies before the Senate and advises on how to better protect computer systems from attacks.
Alright, Kevin was freed. And then it all ties into Coob Face.
So I really like Sleep, and the thing that I do like about Sleep is that it's an alternate reality. Nothing is impossible in Sleep.
So where did Coob Face play into anything with Kevin's story? Or at all in this entire narrative? Where does that fit? It's just two separate stories. There's a Kevin story and there's a Coob Face story, and none of them really connect to each other other than Coob Face with the free Kevin meme. Like, I hate that. Like, if you're gonna make a video, like, this should be two separate things instead of convoluting and watering down this whole thing. They did that in the last one too. It makes it fucking impossible to follow the narrative, and it just seems all disjointed and everywhere. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no fucking sense. It's such a shame. I really love the style of the channel, but they absolutely cannot fucking tell any story at all. It just gets so pretentious and wrapped up in